Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the episode 2 of the Clarity Code. Last time we explored the pattern behind how we feel, and tonight we take that awareness into motion, into how we make decisions.
Yeah,
Welcome back, Priya.
because every decision is emotional before it becomes logic.
Hmm.
And when emotion isn't understood, then the decision starts to feel very heavy, sometimes forced, sometimes very confusing as well. So,
Hmm.
with that, let's get started with the second episode of the Clarity Code. And today we are going to be exploring the choices that we make. So, to break it down, we think that we are making choices with logic, but decisions actually begins in the body. What I mean by that is it begins from the state of emotion. Every choice or every reaction or a response. Now, if you look at every reaction or if you look at every response, then we can tell that if it is coming from a place of clarity or if it is distorted.
Hmm. Okay. So, so when we say emotional architecture,
Hmm.
okay,
Hmm.
we mean the structure behind the impulse that we are having to make
Yeah.
the decision.
Yeah. So emotion builds the scaffolding of choices, which
Hmm.
can be from a place of fear or guilt or duty. Okay. These are all different architectures. So
Hmm.
until we decode them, we we don't choose, we just repeat. So if you look at the if you look at some very major decisions in your life, you've probably taken them because you have a desire to do that, or if you feel that it is a duty for you to do that. So today we are this down breaking
Okay.
down the aspects of what goes into decision making, because if you think about it, our life is nothing without the decisions that we make,
Yeah.
right? And I'm not talking about huge decisions, I'm talking about even the smallest one,
Smallest ones.
right?
Yeah.
They are all decisions. And I have come across a lot of people, including me, who have felt at some point that I don't want to make an emotional decision, I want to make a logical decision. So
Hmm.
today I want us to break down this myth about how every decision is more emotional than logical, how you feel it in your body first and how it moves beyond that. So that is what today's episode is going to be. So that's what our conversation is for the next 30 minutes.
And would you like to dissect few patterns for us?
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna pick up some distortions, okay, in the patterns of decision making, okay. So let's say I told about duty, right?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So when we talk about duty, we are either talking about coming from a place of being safe
Hmm.
or coming from a place of being validated a certain way, right? Because if you think about it, we want to make decisions that is safe primarily for us and then for everybody else who's involved,
Makes sense.
right? Or the
Yeah.
other way, if you look at validation, it is, if I am making a decision today, I don't want to be blamed on, instead I want to be appreciated for the decision that I'm making.
Hmm.
So it is external validation. And
Hmm.
sometimes it's not even external validation, it is our own validation, our internal validation. And our internal validation is also based on those scaffoldings that I spoke to you about earlier, which is either fear or desire or guilt or any of
Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
So if
Okay.
I have, so the first loop that I think I want to talk about is
Hmm.
safety loop. Okay.
Hmm.
So what are the patterns that we notice when it comes to safety? It's like I don't want to decide until I know if whatever I want to do is safe. It can
Hmm.
be investing money. It
Yeah.
can be investing in a relationship. It
Hmm.
can be I'm sorry. It can be us. I think it's more like investing our time, effort, energy into
Yeah.
anything, relationship,
Yeah.
money, purchases, and all these things. Okay. Now the truth is, safety is created after the decision, not before it.
Hmm.
This is the truth of the matter. Okay. Now, when our nervous system leads, it is not our intuition.
Hmm.
We create delayed timelines.
And okay, what do you mean by that? So I have a question over here.
Hmm.
So how can we tell if it is intuition or any other emotion such as fear?
I think fear demands proof.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, if you are working from a fear based platform, then you want to know that the step that you are going to take is foolproof.
Hmm.
Until and unless you don't know if what you're going to do is going to work, you're not going to work on it.
Okay.
But when it comes to intuition, you don't really care, or maybe wrong
Yeah.
choice of words, you're
Yeah.
more open to take that risk. You're not very concerned about the result. Of course you would love the result to be a certain way, but then if your decision is intuition based, there is more peace and there is lack of fear. There's
Hmm.
less fear.
We feel more at ease with our body as well when we are
Yes,
in resonance with our intuition.
yes.
I've experienced this myself. Okay, right.
Because I think the most challenge that people have is, I don't know if it is my intuition or if it is not my intuition.
Hmm.
So, for those of you who want to make intuitive decisions, see how you feel in the body. Because
Hmm.
if the decision is not based on intuition, then you'll have some very common bodily symptoms like sweating,
Hmm.
itching, uneasiness in the stomach, wanting to go to the washroom, maybe even get a bad stomach. I've had all these things, okay? So I'm just telling from my own experience. So these, or it could, yeah, I think these, or I've seen some people pace around because they're trying to make a decision and their body is feeling weird.
In constant movement.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they're not able to sit in one place. So have you seen people like move their fingers or shake their hand, or
Yeah.
probably, shake their knees? These are all signs wherein it is not an intuitive decision. It is mostly coming from some kind of emotional baggage or loop.
Okay. Understood.
Um, with that, I want to go to the second loop, which is what I'm going to pick is a validation loop. Okay.
Hmm. Most common.
Um, so the pattern that you would have is, I need to be sure that this is right. Okay.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I'm not talking just about external validation. I'm also talking about internal validation. The reason why I'm saying it out loud is because sometimes um, we feel that we need to be validated externally only, and we feel that we are okay. If there was no external validation, then I would be more open to do whatever I want to do. But then, to be very frank, uh, that is us putting the blame on the external factors,
Yeah.
because we internally as well want to be validated, because we are more critical about ourselves than anybody else being more critical about us.
So how can we clarify this with ourselves only? Because this is a very tricky thing to identify, I feel like.
I don't think clarity doesn't need anybody else's consensus, to be
Yeah.
very frank.
Yeah.
If you know what you want to do, you really don't want anybody's validation.
Hmm.
We need validation because we have been trained to equate validation with safety.
Hmm.
If somebody is telling, hey, this is a good thing to do,
Hmm.
what I am inferring from that is, oh, this person feels it is safe, so I can now go ahead and do it. But that is just validation end of the day. But when you are working from a place of clarity, there is an internal coherence. It's
Yeah.
not like a group agreement. It's not like five people coming together and saying that, hey, this is the best thing to do, so I'm going to go do it now. No, I
Hmm.
feel in my bones that this is the best thing to do. I am there with myself. I have my own support. So there is a lot of balance, there's a lot of understanding, there is a lot of coherence internally, because of which I can go do something. And I'm not waiting for external validations.
Wow. So there are so many patterns, and I feel like these are the most common ones. And
Yeah,
this
yeah.
one, the validation loop, is the most common loop.
Mm.
And I've seen people getting stuck between, they don't dissect the difference between the external validation and internal validation. I'm sure they might have gotten the clarity from this.
Because it's very difficult, right? We have not been trained to understand these nuances, and hence conversations like this help. I'm going to go into another one which is very closer to validation, okay?
Okay, okay.
It is going in spirals. This famous terminology, I'm sure everybody has used it left, right, and center, which is analysis paralysis, right? Which
Mhm.
is you over being overly logical about something. You're thinking about something over and over and over again.
Okay.
Now, I'll tell the difference between what is thinking and what is overthinking, because
Hmm.
there is no understanding about this as well. Okay. Very simple. You get a situation, you think about what is a solution for this, or how can I work through this. Okay.
Yeah.
When you are thinking about that from a place of clarity, you find a solution, then you go ahead and do whatever you need to do. And the solution has worked, not worked. If it has worked, great. If it has not worked, then you revisit and you do what is required. This is
Okay.
thinking. Okay.
Hmm.
Overthinking is, I think about the problem, I found a solution. Now I'll think about the solution. Now I'll think about all the things that can happen with it. Now I'm thinking about it over and over and over again, and hence it is overthinking, which also puts you in a loop. Okay? So what I mean by that is, probably what you're saying is, let me just think through it one more time.
Hmm.
And that one more time, you have no idea when it becomes thousand more times. Now, why is there overthinking? Because it is a way of avoidance.
Okay. Overthinking is a way of avoidance. How can we say that? Like,
Because
can
when you are overthinking, you're delaying the action. You're
hmm.
only thinking.
Hmm.
Okay, so it's avoidance in disguise. Now
Hmm.
you are not thinking that, okay, I'm avoiding from taking
Yeah.
a step. In your head, you're like, I need to be very sure before I
Sure.
take a step, right? And
Hmm.
hence you are thinking and thinking and thinking. But because you're thinking so many times,
Hmm.
or for so much amount of time, you're
Hmm.
delaying what needs to be done.
Hmm.
So for example, let's say you're a very creative person. I actually had a conversation with somebody I knew. Okay, she's very creative. She loves to go out, and probably she's been wanting to start something of her own, wherein she is giving reviews of restaurants and places to visit in Bangalore
Okay.
and anywhere you go and stuff like that. Okay, but she has all these apprehensions about herself. How may
Hmm.
I look? How might I come across? How am I talking? Will this work? Will this not work?
Yeah.
So you see that she's overthinking, and she's
Overthinking.
overthinking,
Yeah.
right? Now
Because
in this process, there is also validation, because when she is talking about this to somebody that she knows, they are validating her, saying that, come on, dude, you're so good at how you speak, or how you are being, or how you come across. That means it is going to be a great thing. So
hmm.
she's getting the validation that she needs, right? And she's also overthinking about it. Now, to go back to the first loop that I spoke about, the safety loop,
Yeah.
it is a safe choice, because there is nothing that is going to work against her for it, right? So she already knows it is safe, but now she is stuck in the validation and the loop of overthinking about it. Okay, so in the end, she's not doing it, she's just
Yeah.
thinking about it, she's just sitting there.
No wonder decision making is so different with
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah, because when we feel we feel we are in control of things when we think about something more than
Hmm.
doing it. Okay.
Hmm.
So the
Yeah.
thing is that clarity does not arrive through thought. It arrives through recognition. It arrives through recognition of your own ability, of your own strength, of your own skill set,
Hmm.
of your own ability to fail,
Hmm.
wherein you are not. You're okay if you fail. You're fine if you fail, because you know that, okay, something is not going to work out. I'm going to learn why it did not work out. I'm going to do things differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you never do it, then how are you going to know what is going to work and what's not going to work? So,
Hmm.
most of us, we either don't make a decision, we overthink,
Hmm.
or we're just looping in that cycle of, okay, I want to do this, but this is these are things that I don't know. So even when we say I don't know how to do these things,
Hmm.
it's also because you have never found out how to do those things. You are thinking in your own head, how are you going to do it with the limited knowledge that you have, and because of which you haven't gone outside, you haven't found things how to do it, and then you don't do it because human beings are very resourceful in nature.
Yeah.
We're very, very, very resourceful.
Yeah.
And we might want to do something. We have tried path A, path B hasn't worked out, then we'll find something else with which we might not do the exact same things, but we want to achieve the result that we want to achieve. And that's why I say human beings are very resourceful. I think in all these years that I have worked with people in different setups, I've
Mhm.
always noticed that we are very, very, very resourceful.
So is there any structure to as to how one can make decisions? Uh, is there any?
I'm going to share a very small exercise, okay? Probably what the listeners can do is think of
Hmm.
one decision that you have been postponing,
Okay.
okay? Probably you want to try this exercise for yourself as I'm talking about it, because it's going to take maximum 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay, so let's do it. So, Alicia, think of one decision that you have been postponing. I'm going to give you a few seconds.
Okay.
Thought about it? Okay. Now place your hand on your chest and whisper its question. Like, don't think, just listen. Like, what is that one decision that you have been postponing? And just listen to what your heart has to say. I also want you to notice where your body is reacting, okay? Like, you will feel tightness, you might feel some sensations. That is your emotional architecture that is speaking. Do you want to share?
Yes. So I have been waiting to enter into something.
Mm,
Okay.
mm,
So I asked myself, why am I delaying that? So
mm.
my heart center expanded and the I heard three words, just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
So, what was the underlying structure because of which you were not able to do it? Were you able to identify that?
Yes, I think you have already mentioned that loop previously.
Mm-hmm.
That is, I was getting stuck with analysis paralysis.
So you're overthinking.
Yes, yes,
Ah,
yes.
okay,
With
okay.
all the stuff that is ongoing side by. So I was just trying to make a structure of it, maybe overemphasizing, over preparing as well.
So
Over preparing.
thank you for saying that. I want us to go one level down. Okay.
Okay,
What is
okay.
the reason for that overthinking? What is the emotional architecture behind that overthinking? What are you afraid of? Or what is causing that overthinkingness?
I think I feel the best outcome because this is one of the most um action based thing
Mm.
uh, that is going to be a turning edge, a turning phase in my life.
So this is going to be a turning point in your life, and this is going to be action based, and hence you're overthinking about it because you want everything to be perfect.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to know one more aspect. What is going to happen if this does not turn out the way it needs to turn out? How are you going to feel?
On the other hand, I have a very contrary thought that I will be okay. I'll just move on with it and I'll do more with it. There is no certain timeline. I do have timeline, but I can expand it. And I'm so majorly what happens is either it happens the way we perceive it, it is always above or beneath that, beneath what we set.
Okay.
That is the belief system or conditioning I had.
Thank you. Now tell me, what is a belief system that is making you overthink?
Uh,
Is your belief system or conditioning fear based? Is it obligation based? Is it duty based? What is the underlying emotion that is making you overthink?
I feel like it is self-obligation.
That you have to be a certain way, you have to
Yes,
come across a
yes,
certain way.
yes,
So it's got
yes,
to do with
yes.
your
It is self.
image. It's got to do with your image as to how am I coming across.
With no, with the outcome. So yeah, could say with the outcome of it.
Yeah, so the outcome is in turn you itself, right? So if the outcome is great, then you
Yeah,
will come
yeah,
across great. If the outcome is not great, then you will not come across great. So that is what is
yeah.
stopping. So now can I derive some things out of that? Tell me yes or no. Okay, you don't have to agree
Yes,
if it
yes.
is not.
No, go on with it. That's why it is getting postponed.
Yeah, so I
There
want
are other factors too, but I feel like now we are dissecting it. I feel like this is 60-70% of it.
Okay, now the reason, say yes or no when I ask you, okay? The
Hmm.
reason why you are attaching yourself to the outcome,
Hmm.
okay, is
Hmm.
because of a conditioning or a pattern which is instilled in you for a very long time, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
So do you feel that has got to do also do you feel that that also has something to do with fear based actions, because of which if I don't come across a certain way, then I might be perceived so and so, and hence I want to make sure that everything that I do comes out well?
No.
It's not fear based. Okay, so it is just to do with image. I want us to deep dive into what about the image is asking you to overanalyze it.
Hmm. I feel like it is the self standard. Sometimes we do make decisions. We are talking about decision
Yeah,
making over,
yeah.
and sometimes we do make decisions for ourselves.
Mm,
Okay, then we set the benchmark,
mm,
and we know in which direction we are moving.
mm.
And I feel like uh, it's just the perfectionism around it that is revolving
And
overall,
do,
general.
do you know what is the shadow that governs perfectionism?
Yes.
Which one is that?
I get it.
Okay, so for those who
There
are,
are ego ways.
uh,
Yeah, please
I,
go on.
I want to say ego, but then I don't want to say ego as well, because
Mhm.
um ego also protects us.
Yeah,
Okay.
it protects
Yeah,
us.
so I
Yeah.
don't want it to be taken the wrong way. But then um the shadow frequency that sits behind perfectionism is not about you wanting to be perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, it is the force that governs. What is a force that governs beneath it? Okay, so for example, uh if you feel that you're not going to be perfect, okay, that means you're also, okay, let me just change that. If you feel that if you need to be perfect, then you're afraid to lose control. Are you getting what I'm saying?
I'm
If I
getting.
cannot be perfect, that means I don't have control over anything, meaning I can't do anything
Yeah, yeah,
properly.
yeah.
Okay. And being perfect is also somehow permission to exist.
Hmm.
Like, this is the only way that I know to do things. If I'm not doing it like this, then I'm not good for anything. So have you heard people say that I don't think I'm good at it, I don't think I'm good at it? That is
Yeah.
because they had a certain imagination of how the outcome needs to be, and it did not come out like that. And that could be just one of a thing that happened sometime in their life. Okay, but because of that, there is this thought process, or there is this conditioning, and we have conditioned ourselves to believe
Hmm.
that we are not good enough. So
Hmm.
the core wound that it protects is being misunderstood, is being
Yeah,
dismissed, is
yeah,
losing energetic authority. It
yeah.
is one mistake is one mistake will invalidate your whole identity.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. It is
yeah,
fear of chaos. It is all
yeah,
of these things.
yeah, yeah. And
Okay.
you see how these are, would you like to name them as emotional wounds or what?
I would just like to call them as shadows. Okay.
Uh,
Because shadow is anyway a result of a wound or a trauma or of a certain conditioning or of a certain belief system. It doesn't always have to be trauma. It can even be how we have been taught to think, or how we have been taught
Yeah,
to feel, or how we have learned to feel, right? So it can be any of these. So I don't want to name them as wounds per se, but I would, they are shadows. That is what they are.
right.
Yeah. So thank
Hmm.
you for helping me, for, being a person who we can dissect. So what I want to conclude is that
Hmm.
all these emotions that we spoke about, that is your emotional architecture. That is the one that is active behind your analysis paralysis. Okay. So
Hmm.
once you name the structure, now that you know that, okay, I am not able to do something because I'm analyzing, I'm overthinking about it, and it could be because of how I'm going to come across, the fear behind it, the wanting to be perfect behind it. So now that you have been able to name this, now, let me ask you, now that you have identified what is the different layers behind why you've not been doing this, what do you feel?
I feel like doing it straight away
Yeah, right, right. Because what happens is,
because it has cleared the fog.
because when you name a structure, you can rewire it. That is how emotion becomes intelligence.
And
Emotion
my
is not,
body is feeling more at ease right now.
yeah, 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 yeah. So the beauty of having clarity is that it does not remove the emotion.
Hmm.
It just helps us understand what is underlying. When we see the structure beneath it, then we no longer fear the design itself. Like how you don't feel the fog, like how your body is feeling that, okay, now I can go do it. I don't
Yeah.
have to overthink about this,
Hmm.
right? So, what I would want all of you who's listening to do is ask yourself, what am I making this decision mean about me?
Hmm.
So when you remove the meaning, choice becomes clear.
Yeah.
Because what you're trying to do is you're thinking, you're not giving it meaning based on your conditioning, your limiting beliefs, your scenarios, your situations. No. You're understanding, why am I not able to do something? What is the emotional architecture behind that? And
Hmm.
once you understand that, then it is going to be very easier for you to make a decision.
I think this episode is going to really clarify so many things on the lines of decision making.
Yeah, yeah.
Decision making itself has so much of background to it.
Mm,
So when we talk about it, then we realize that, okay, sometimes we do expect decisions from other as well. So
mm,
decision making is very much intertwined,
yeah.
and it's very important to hold that certain level of clarity to make smooth decisions in life. I feel like it is going to make life much easier and very flowy in nature.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So if you're feeling this frequency, everybody, I want you to explore your own emotional architecture with us. You're most welcome to join our The Clarity Code, a live exploration that is happening on 29th of November 2025. To join us, link is in the description.
So
And
the
yeah.
whole agenda of the clarity code is that when you see something clearly, then everything shifts. Okay. And this is not just something that we say for the sake of it. In today's episode, you yourself saw how Alicia picked up a situation, a something that she was not able to go ahead with, and how we broke it down. And we probably took probably 10-15 minutes for that to happen.
Yeah.
So you can then imagine how is it going to be for you, and what kind of clarity you're going to get when you join the clarity code. So, when you stop outsourcing your knowledge, you actually start seeing things clearly. So come be a part of the clarity code this 29th at 8:30 IST, and we'll drop the link below where you can register, and we'll see you there. And other than that, oh, also, the last episode did so beautifully well. We were very happy with all of you guys who logged in, all of you who engaged with the content. Thank you so much for that. And because we got so many questions regarding what we are talking about, we are going to be coming more often December onwards. So we're going to be meeting you 4 times in a month. So every Saturday is when we are going to be meeting you. So make sure you tune in at 8:30, and we'll give you plenty of information. We'll give you plenty of uh, we'll give you plenty of information as to what the topic is going to be about that we're going to talk. One thing, just one thing that we want you to do is we would like you to subscribe to the channel, because last time, out of all the people who viewed and who saw, there were very few people who were subscribers. So if you have come across the Soulcrafted channel and you're watching us, then make sure you hit on that subscribe, you engage with the content, so that it helps the algorithm, so that more people get to know about this. Our whole agenda behind talking about these topics is to make things very real, easy for everybody who's watching. So make sure you do that. And thank you so much once again for investing your time, being a part of the show, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you, Alicia, and thank you all. Bye bye.